It's a Monday edition of The Conversation here on Lagos Television. I guess for some reason, our equipment also want to celebrate the Easter. So they're also just, trying to get in the mood. Right, so I think to conclude on the doctors' impending strike, I think for me, now this is my personal opinion, I think they're a bit hasty.
Yeah.
This is just 6th of April. Tomorrow will be 7th. And then according to what you said the federal government is planning to stop the implementation in April. At least you would allow April's salary to be paid.
And then you change.
If you want to fight, would you have justifications?
Evidence.
So now they've said, the implementation will start in April, and then you're also hearing that there's every likelihood that they might not implement. Can you collect your salaries first in April, and then let your pay slip state otherwise, that the federal government has reneged in its agreement? Then you don't know what to do. How can you want to embark on a strike before something is done?
They're just being speculative.
Over here says, yeah.
And like you rightly pointed out, why not wait for your April salary to be paid? Then if the salary does not reflect all the allowances and the agreement, then you have enough reason for you to go on strike.
I don't know, you did now declare an indefinite strike before the expiration of something. I don't, except if there's any other thing that we do not know or they haven't explained after their virtual meeting. But it was, we're talking based on what we've read and what they've released so far. So I think it's best they even wait until the end of April before they declare a strike or not.
I mean, and I also hope this will serve as wake-up call to NLC. If there's anything that you want to get from the federal government now, this is the time for you to speak.
Yeah.
Not that when it is few weeks before election, you start holding the federal government by the jugular. Ordinarily, according to the Constitution, the minimum wage ought to have been reviewed.
True.
And NLC is not saying anything now.
Now, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, fuel costs drive food inflation as Lagos traders, shoppers struggle. Alhaji Abiodun Kosoko has blamed rising fuel prices for surging food costs, warning that transport expenses are squeezing traders and deepening hardship for consumers across Lagos. Kosoko Babaloja, General of Agbado Kyodo LCDA, spoke during a visit by this medium to Ile-Epo market, describing a sharp disconnect between foot traffic and actual sales. He said although markets still attracted crowds daily, purchasing power had weakened significantly, leaving traders with unsold goods and diminishing returns on their investments. Kosoko explains that many traders sourced food items from neighboring states where production was higher, but transportation to Lagos was increasingly expensive. According to him, distance, fuel cost, and multiple levies along supply routes all combine to inflate the final prices paid by consumers in urban markets. He warned that the trend threatened the sustainability of small-scale traders, many of whom depended on quick sales to avoid losses from perishable goods. Kosoko urged the federal government to intervene through fuel subsidies or targeted transport support to stabilize prices and protect both traders and low-income households. He noted that the bag of rice previously sold for 50,000 naira now costs between 56 and 58,000 naira, depending on brand and supply conditions. And we expected this. Once the price of fuel increases, it will affect everything, especially food. And we've been expecting this. And as the Babaloja said, government should come to our aid. But I'm not sure about subsidy. I'm not sure about fuel subsidies. No. And one thing I've noticed is that most of the commercial vehicles are now CNG powered. I see them on the queue on, this particular...
Maybe a certain axis.
Yeah, okay. On this axis, most of the vehicles I see queuing for CNG gas are commercial vehicles.
In Lagos color? The yellow and black?
Both.
Okay. Well, it's a business, and so they also look at what pays them the most. If buying fuel or filling the CNG gas is what they can, it depends on how they're able to manage themselves at the end of the day. But again, it will go back to prioritizing where you go, what you do, how you waka. Waka that it does not
It's not productive.
You stay at home. Or you leave your car at home. Honestly, I think it's just going to give a lot more people, just allow people to better plan their trips and plan their journeys. If there's really no business, if you have no business staying where you're going, stay in your house or walk to where you want to walk to. It's not that easy, but then I guess we'll have to walk
that's the
within
reality of our time.
Yeah, reality of our time. And camels and horses and donkeys are not easy.
If you have bicycle.
If you ride bicycle and you don't eat, don't go and follow.
It's not your blood, your energy.
Don't go and follow.
No, Adebimpe, you are not buying fuel, then you are keeping fit.
But you have to eat. Your food is your fuel. Or else your eyes will not go and turn and you meet yourself where you shouldn't go. All right, let's go on the X platform this morning and take a look at one of the many trending stories on the X platform. Of course, this has been, getting so many reactions since this news broke. And of course, it says hopefully this approval will allow Nigerians say a total goodbye to poor electricity supply because Mr. President has approved 3.3 trillion naira loan repayment plan for electricity supply in Nigeria. While some were applauding, a lot of people had questions to ask, and I think one of the questions a lot of people asked was one of the questions that Jibola also asked when conversation around electricity came up for discussion last week, that now that Aso Rock is also going to be off the grid and will be on solar or alternative energy, are we sure that this particular approval by Mr. President is genuine, or is it one that would actually, assure Nigerians of more electricity supply? Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see where this panders to. But I think this administration owes Nigerians a whole lot when it comes to electricity supply. It was one of the things they promised Nigerians. It was one of the campaign promises. And I think, of course, it's not going to scale through if this also will form part of the campaign promises for the 2027 elections. Can it work? Because if in 3 years we haven't made significant headway, then what assurances do we have that will make headway in the next 4 years? And I think government also needs to push further by allowing states. I know they've decentralized, but push the states.
Push the states, yeah.
Push the states to generate and supply electricity, because everybody being on the grid is a Herculean. We haven't done 6,000 megawatts in years. We've been hovering between 3,000 and 4,000. We haven't pushed. The farthest we've gone to is 4,500. I mean 4,800. So what are we talking about? So now that Mr. President has approved this payment plan, is it truly going to give Nigerians, that supply that we yearn for? And I know this. So if this is accumulation of debts,
yes,
what assurances do we have that the debts will not accumulate again after now, or when those monies have been paid? So there has to be a structured system.
Absolutely.
Where things will work in Nigeria. All the federal government agencies that keep owing, what are the assurances that they will not owe again after this money has been paid?
Abimbola, you're striking the right chords this morning, and there was something I picked from your statement this morning. This particular 3 trillion or thereabouts is for debts that they are owing those people in the power sector.
Yes.
So how does that translate to regular power supply? That's my question. That's number one.
How does that affect structure itself?
That's number one. And police barrack, army barracks.
They will owe again.
When they want to disconnect their power, there is always an issue.
Do they even try to disconnect them? They don't.
They even bypass.
Sometimes they beat those people. They beat them. So now that you have paid and Aso Rock is off the national grid, it is not adding up for me.
It doesn't make sense.
If there's a particular brand that I'm projecting and I'm not wearing that brand, then it shows the brand is inferior.
I don't know. It is
this power sector. Maybe we'll go to NASFAT or Redeem to go and pray.
It is the same infrastructure we're talking about.
We have not changed those infrastructure.
Exactly.
You know, the same equipment. It is. So what are we talking about?
By the time they finish paying this debt now, so the national grid collapsed the day after.
Then is the national grid strong enough? Strong enough?
They said it can take. They said it can take. They gave the number of megawatts. I think up to. They gave it. Don't let me quote. You know what I can't remember now. But according to them, it can actually take more than it is currently pushing out. So why is it not pushing out enough? If it is infrastructure problem, isn't that where we should be concentrating on? So if we pay these debts now, the people that owed the debts, how would they be paying going forward if there's electricity supply? Exactly. We'll come and owe again. We'll come and pay again. And
another question that should prick the conscience of the ruling party was the question asked by Abimbola the other time. Okay, you campaigned in 2023 that you are going to ensure that we have steady power supply in the country. As we speak, power is still epileptic. So what are you bringing to the table to campaign in 2027 when it comes to power? Security is also there. And those are vital needs of every Nigerian.
Yeah, I think they should just allow states, push states to do more. When it comes to
some states, they are not ready. You can talk about Lagos. Abia is an example.
Abia has moved.
Yeah, so those that are ready. Because again, so here's where I think we also need to talk to ourselves as individuals. So Nigerians also do not all of us now. So a lot of people also do not want to pay for electricity. Yes, they want to have supply.
They meter them.
So those that have meter.
When they meter them, they bypass.
They bypass.
Ajibola, they bypass.
They bypass the meter. So if you're also if you're consuming electricity that you're not paying for, you don't understand that that money will still accrue somewhere.
It will accrue somewhere.
It will accrue somewhere.
Energy theft.
Again, yes, when we apportion blame to government, let us also look at ourselves and also see. So some people will say, why are you bringing bill of 50,000? It's 5,000 that I normally pay. So that electricity, is it 5,000 you are using? So if you don't have that supply, you will complain.
Do you know how many times tariffs have been increased? And you are still talking about 5,000.
So that's what I'm saying. So if people also do not think that they need to pay for electricity, then what are we talking about?
Honestly, I do pity Mr. President, and I think he should have some frank meeting with the governors. They are not helping him at all. At all. And most of the time, we blame Mr. President for this, for that. Over the weekend, I was somewhere, and there was this particular man discussing what local government chairmen are getting these days, and they are getting as much as, some are getting 1 billion.
What are they doing with it?
What are they doing? And the man now said, okay, there was a particular chairman, he bought a latest Range Rover at 500 million. Then the local government next to that local government was now like, this one, first timer. I'm a second timer. That one too. That one I bought another SUV. So
it's an opportunity to start flaunting
competition and to flaunt wealth
that should actually go to the grassroots. Because so at the local government level, they are in charge of primary education. Hey. What are they doing? How many people have access to potable water? The primary health care centers, can people go there? So when there's no electricity supply and then you have an emergency late at night, you start running to general hospital, when in actual sense you should actually seek first aid. But when you go there, there's no lights, there's no doctor, and yet you are flaunting wealth in the midst of the people. So again, you ask yourself, if the federal government is saying, local government, have access to your fund, and then you are not doing the needful with your fund, will we pray for you? I don't get it.
500 million, 750 million.
Anyways, I think that there are a lot of things, that we see, and sometimes you just wonder, is government really, is it really close to the people, or are they really as responsible as they should be to the people. We'll keep talking, and hopefully, you know, the conscience of those that really should hear it will be pricked, and they will do the appropriate thing, you know, at the appropriate time.
And Abimbola, I'm sorry to bring this in. Aside from Mr. President talking to the governors, I think Mr. President will need to sit the FCT minister down. The way and manner that man
yeah,
is too arrogant for me.
It's not even about arrogance.
It's not even arrogant.
It is very, and he acts uncultured.
Very uncouth.
It behaves like, you know, he's the high and
the
the
mini
mighty,
god.
And there's really nothing that can, you know, touch him or something. You see.
But he has always been like this.
He has always
then
been
what's
like
the essence of this media chat all the time?
Not because he's an FCT.
It's not your personal money.
It is also because it's not being corrected.
Yeah.
It's not being chastised by people who should. And I think we should also get to a level where public office holders should also be punished one way or the other. So when I say punished in code, if they do things that do not align with your vision,
yeah.
you can suspend them now.
Oh.
I'm just saying. So again, because at the end of the day, one person's mess will rub off on other people. It might look small, it might look minute, but see, there are some things that you don't even see on national television. You understand? So anyway, I understand our guest is here, so let's take a break and we'll be right back.